Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea, only on WINNMedia 98.9.
Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Azem, featuring Jade, Gwyneth Johnson.
Okay. Caribbean News Report, Kevon Hanley.
Jane here.
Reporting. you always got to go down and end. Reporting.
Yeah,
Good morning, fellow inmates.
Jade, Gwyneth Johnson.
Yes. Yes.
Come to Gwen.
She calling people inmates.
Good morning, my fellow inmates. How are you guys today?
Me Nancy now.
David,
The nation.
that is you business.
Apparently I'm important.
Yep,
Let's see what's going on my phone.
that is a fact.
Oh, let me do the date since we're bound to lose track of it because you know. So the date. Oh, I can't see the date. Hold on.
Put on your
The
glasses.
date is. I was cleaning them. It is Monday, June 28th, and oh my God, June done. And time is 8:03 a.m.
What a way to finish it.
Oh boy.
What a grand way to finish this month, boy.
And the funny thing is, summer phone was going up just now, Kevon. I decided to check it out what's going on. Emergency sitting of the National Assembly.
At 10 a.m.
Parliament doing it, Parliament doing it.
I will listen. I never see the government go live so much in my life. Eh? This weekend, all kind of lives. From let me see, the Prime Minister, then Mr. Byron, then the COVID briefing, then CXC had something, and then today now is the National Assembly. Oh, you're working.
Well, before we even get into it, wishing best of luck to the students who start CXC today.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Good
sir.
luck.
Big
I
time.
remember CXC.
You remember that?
Yeah.
I was drunk the whole time.
Well, see, that's why you don't remember. I remember because I was sober. What an experience
no one,
that was.
no one believes that.
No one believes that I was sober or you was drunk.
That you were sober, Jade.
No, man. My drinking habits didn't start till I was in college.
Oh, so like literally 2 months later.
Funny story about sexy, right? I was supposed to have surgery to remove a cyst. Big up Dr. Wilkinson one time. And I had the option of either going to surgery when I had a maths exam.
Yes.
Or going when I had a history exam.
Come on, too easy.
So you know which one I pick?
Too easy.
Maths.
Yeah,
Too
boy.
easy. Too easy.
When I went in maths, I under the knife.
Under anesthesia.
Listen, you didn't even need to finish you didn't even need to give me option
Yeah,
B.
the full options.
Once you hear Miss Matt, yes.
Listen, I sat through pain, sat through my history exam in full pain just to miss maths.
Let me ask you a question. Y'all had that pressure of like, they kind of push out like sex is this thing where this determines the rest of your life.
Yeah, I cried.
You're one of them?
Yeah, I cried. I cried through my accounts SBA because I couldn't get balance.
Yeah, that was a one. I didn't do accounts, but I heard talks about that.
As in my snotball. Like, main even exaggerating. Like, I sat in the class because it was at the school doing the SPAs and I sat down. And after doing it over and over and over, I just started to cry. I mean, I have a 2, but you know.
But no, it's because they do it over and over and over and over again. Like,
even doing the exam, right? I turn over the paper and I just turn it back over.
oh.
So no, man.
I'm trying to remember if I had any exam where I just look at something, I was like, what is this? I don't
That
think
was
so.
me in accounts.
I think it might
Doesn't
have
mean maths.
the first
Can't
time I did maths. That happened.
Can't relate.
But then I actually did it again in January and passed.
Not me. I'll know.
I failed maths and passed physics. What do you got about?
Listen,
With a 2. What do you got?
stranger things have happened, okay?
Stranger things have happened actually.
That is the great work of Miss Halliday.
Miss Halliday. Oh.
I don't know who that is, but big up Miss Halliday. She's
You would know. I don't think you would know.
Yeah. She's the physics. She was physics teacher at Ambassador.
So it's physics.
You see them
The
things never
Holy
interest
Trinity.
me.
We had the Holy Trinity of Sciences at Bastia High.
Oh yes.
We had Miss Williams, Mrs. Williams for biology.
Oh.
Then we
love Miss
also
Williams
had Miss Halliday for physics, and then we had my favorite, Miss Woodley, for chemistry.
Gotcha.
The Holy Trinity.
I never do chemistry, and to this day, me and Miss Woodley so good, and I never take she class.
Yeah, we
So what kind of
still
child
we
was
me and her still
She was
talk.
just one of them kind of
I-
teachers too, and I would go in there and she would think I would have a free session, but I'd be skipping. Love you, Miss Woodley.
She can't punish you now. It's too late.
Watch here. I had a real. Watch here. It was so bad, right, Jade? When I actually got to fifth form, teachers were asking me, "How much time you gonna repeat?"
You repeat?
I did not repeat, Jade. I just spent so much time on the fifth form block when I was in third and fourth form that teachers assumed I was in fifth form.
Delinquents.
This woman asked me, "How much time you gonna take this one class?" I said, "Miss, this is the first time actually taking the class." She said, "You used to do the test?" I said, "Yeah." But I was in here.
They're just delinquent by.
Alright.
But listen, you better to waste time burn free time in a class than to just burn it
See, for me,
elsewhere.
it wasn't about getting
True.
out. It wasn't about getting out of classes. For me, it was getting away from certain teachers.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yikes.
And so, if I'm going to leave the class to get away from a teacher, I'm going to another class. I'll go into the class where there might be someone I'm trying to get to know.
Okay. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Keep our country clean.
Keep our country something.
Oh, dear.
But for the students to like.
I mean, now you're listening. Yeah, probably.
No.
At home praying and-
Everybody ain't gone today. Everybody ain't gone today. So some of them home.
Mm-mm.
Some
And
of
if
them
you're home, go study.
And not only that too, like don't put so much pressure on yourself that the anxiety takes at least 70 years off your life and you end up dying next week.
It's too late.
Yeah.
These children are
But
panicking.
I think
I wasn't though.
Yeah, but
one of the
you
big
didn't
things
see the pandemic?
is, as parents, do not add. Yes, you want to encourage them to study and stuff, but do not add stress in the process, because the children are already in this expectation that CXC defines your life. I can't even tell you what my CXC grades were.
I can't
because
even say if I
And
used
that is a
any.
problem I have. That's a problem I have. Like in order to try and encourage good performance, they
Right.
over exaggerate what it is, what the CXC actually is, what these exams really are.
Mhm.
Right?
I
like
can't even tell you if I use any of my subjects in my life.
I mean, you would use
English.
them.
English.
You would use them without recognizing. But the thing about it
Not
is,
accounts, which-
no, you maybe use accounts, but maybe just the critical thinking and so element, like not necessarily.
What else I have? I have
The knowledge of
principles
accounts, but
business.
the
Right.
I
actual
use
like
that one.
formulas and stuff you probably wouldn't use.
Geography.
But every day you use geography.
Geography.
Geography in everything.
Don't
Okay. What else I have?
what?
Geography in everything.
Weathering,
What else I have? I have
Weathering.
accounts, principles
No,
of
this is
business,
my
history.
maps.
this is my thing, right? It's not that. In other words, choosing or electing not to tell students that the results of these 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 exams going to
14.
dictate your life.
Pick up Sanjeev one time.
Um,
Or 17. How much you got?
yeah. But just tell them exactly what it is. Like, look, you've spent all this time going to school. You want to have something to show afterwards, right? You want to give you owe it to yourself to at the end of this have some results that you could be proud of, right? Like
Yeah,
children
and
like
then,
things that make them proud, whether it's
these-
pleasing their
and then-
parents or their friends.
Watch out.
Yeah, and then you also let them know that these grades help you get your first job. It doesn't get you every job after, but you get help you
They
get your
did?
first job.
Not mine.
Not really, but
What your first job was, Jade?
I used to work at Dufry. Not lie. No, yeah. I used to work at Dufry.
Okay.
That's how I learned all of my alcohol knowledge. That I later applied in life.
My condolences.
Yep. It was fun. No. Anyway, I'm gonna rant on that Thursday.
Ah,
You just reminded me that I need to talk about something.
what is happening?
Listen, who over here WINN FM?
What?
Who
it's
over
just
here
going,
WINN
we're going on. Help me. Give me visuals.
The AC just keep turning off by itself. Like every 3 minutes, it just turning off.
FM? They're trying to tell us something. We
I
should be home.
We come in.
Morning, my friend. My friend said morning.
Officer?
But
Mm.
with that, don't be no who be frightened.
Yeah, but
You're working by.
yeah, but like I said, guys, parents support your kids, but don't put undue pressure on them. This is just one task.
One task
One task.
out of this long life.
Yeah, long life. And you know the funny thing about it, I have some friends who were in some of the lower streams who now have successful businesses, have people who were in the higher streams working for them,
Yeah. Why not?
right? And so like, yeah. It's important that you do well and you do your best, and if you're going to do something, you put your all into it and thing, but this pressure of like, oh my god, I'm now a total failure at life. And I had a friend in my class who had a mental breakdown during and the lead up to exams. Like, yeah, that was something else. I remember this. I remember this Saturday. Wow. Somebody just come and was like,
Yeah.
this child is supposed to be in here.
Cause.
Y'all have her clothes. I was like,
Yep. Don't do that.
yeah, it does happen. It does happen, and it ain't funny, by like,
Don't do that to
Yeah.
children, please.
yeah,
Please.
children be breaking under this pressure, by trust me.
That's sexy pressure. But guys, guess what? Guess what, Azem?
Yes.
Azem, guess what?
I'm afraid to.
Why? Don't be afraid to. Don't. No. I want you to guess.
You want me to guess?
Yeah. Don't matter.
You just tell me guess.
14 days!
Oh.
You're not going in nobody's house. You're not going in nobody's car. 14 days! You're going to be in lockdown. That is the rule. And at the end of the 14 days, you get a test. And if the test ain't come back good, you're in lockdown again.
You know why?
They don't hear. They don't hear.
How did we get back here? I couldn't wait till Monday, you know? I couldn't wait till Monday.
You guess what? You can wait till Monday, but it's 14 days.
No, when we left here on Friday,
You're still in a answer.
when we left here on Friday, we were speculating that this may happen. And then,
I didn't say 14. I thought it was a week, but whoop.
no, I know whatever happened, it was going to be 2 weeks. I was hoping that the facts and information that the powers that we had would signal that we don't have to, but this is not surprising. This is not surprising. I won't keep still.
They don't hear. They don't hear.
Oh boy. Anyway. Big up all the party goers, all the illegal party goers, all the catamaran cruisers.
All the people who used to walk around Valley Mat just to sightsee.
Yeah. All the people them who bouncing around at night time. What's the politically correct term? To thief a piece? Yes.
Chief of Peace.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Y'all did it. I'm so proud of y'all.
Congratulations. You know how Khaled does say congratulations, you played yourself.
I should have got a clip.
you played everybody. Everybody got played.
I mean, except
Yeah,
Oscar,
I
we
mean-
Central. But we was home.
I mean, these things don't really bother me, eh?
Not me.
But I understand my situation might not be the same like everybody. Some people might not have the luxury of having disposable income available to them for like 2 weeks.
Yes.
Emergency funds. Some people might be living in homes where it's a bit overcrowded. Some people may be living in situations where they don't know what the status of their employment or their business is going to be past these things. So everybody got their different situations dealing with. Everybody don't know what the status of the relationship going to be after these 2 weeks. But a lot of things to worry about, yeah.
Some people can literally afford a lockdown for 2 weeks. But
Some people just ain't like themselves. Let's be real. Some
Yeah.
people ain't like their own company.
and some people have situations at home that are not ideal and they can't escape. But you know what our Prime Minister said to do?
Fast and
14
pray.
days!
Fast and pray.
Fast and pray. Yo, that they got to be the hardest line of 2021.
Fast and
Fast
pray.
and pray.
I mean, I don't know if those should have been the words. However,
Well, I mean, in
because some people really can't afford to fast. I'm praying I help them. At all.
no, but, okay. Let's be totally honest here. Some of us actually need a fast. Like we all should be fasting from time to time, right? But
Yes, I have fasted. It was very difficult, but very rewarding.
yes. But I don't know if that was necessarily where we were going with this one. Yeah, but I believe that most people, even it being difficult, at the end of this we'll get through. And for those who have issues with the essentials and stuff, there is some social alleviation
Social
happening.
services. What's the number? I can't remember.
Call 311 people.
Yes, call 311. They should help you. They should be able to help you.
Yeah, call 311. But I think most people funny bad, yo. People funny bad. I have literally tracked the opinions of some people, and the opinions literally are just whatever the government do, I want the opposite. So when they first had the first cases, I'm speaking about this one particular person. They were like, Lock it down. What are we waiting for? Lock it down.
No, we lock it down.
Okay. Then they come with the 2 weeks partial curfew, partial lockdown. I needed a full lockdown. Full lockdown. What this partial thing is? Yeah, Friday evening I got into the person WhatsApp. Lord, a lockdown now, how people gonna survive? How people gonna think? This is same person.
I know.
The same exact
I
person.
feel that's actually people who are begging for a lockdown.
When the lockdown come,
begging.
when the lockdown come now, just
We are locking out the country. I'm like, but yeah, instead.
I think it would be a good strategy if they used screenshots in their PowerPoints and said as recommended by the public. All the people recommended.
Don't you have this
Seriously, like imagine how that would go if they literally put up screenshots of everybody's recommendations on what the government should do and said, as per request by the public, we've listened and we've heard you and we've implemented a lockdown.
right.
Then what? Because y'all been asking for a lockdown for the past months. Because this is literally it's been like this is what, week 5 of the outbreak. It's been like 4 or 5 weeks since we had community spread begin. Y'all been asking for it for day one. Since day one, you now have it and you're vexed.
You know what? I am.
You ever watched the Notebook?
Mm-hmm.
You remember when he stand up there and ask, "What do you want?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want?" And he keep asking over again, "What do you want?" I feel like that's what we need to play for the citizens, because what do you want? You ask for something, you get it, you're vexed.
Mm-hmm.
You ask for something, you don't get it, you're still vexed. So what do you want?
To be honest, right? My only annoyance with this is if we as a nation had just complied, we wasn't gonna be locked down, because guess what? Now we are seeing how many cases, Kevon?
We are currently at so let me do the one sheet thing. The COVID report number 458 for St Kitts and Nevis. This is as of Sunday, 27th of June, 6 p.m. We have had one confirmed case in the last 24 hours. Active cases, we are at 299. Number of cases recovered, 127. Total number of cases, 429 between St Kitts and Nevis.
Mm-hmm.
Deaths, we are still at 3, and I hope it doesn't move. So, active right now, 299. Will it stay there?
But yeah. But
Listen.
no, but you see, remember when this thing started, we were like, okay, so we expect to see, at least for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, the numbers to go up, because now they're doing the contact tracing and stuff like that and whatever. So my hope is that we continue on this downtrend, the single digits, until we have some consistent zeros. And then thing. If ideally we would not have another positive case ever. Ideally.
Right.
But that is probably asking too much.
You know what I found
Way too
very
much.
funny? The fact that people said that they lie. That they're lying about the case count. They say we're on a 1 case, we're on a 0 cases, the government lying. So they lie about the cases that we had before, now they're lying about the fact that we have...
So they're lying about the 0 but lock us down still. So what was the purpose of the line?
You got to ask people saying these things, because the match don't match to me,
No, I don't have to ask them actually. I just have to continue ignoring them and reading my Bible and eating grapes.
Good plan.
That's pretty much my
That's a good plan.
That's pretty much my entire lockdown there. Reading my Bible, eating grapes, and then learning a new skill on YouTube.
Yeah, man, I done way ahead of you.
Oh man, I forget my coffee.
I didn't forget my tea.
Oh, and for somebody who locked down,
Drink some tea.
no. Drink some tea, ease up on the caffeine.
Y'all a bit too high.
Yeah, no, seriously. On a serious note, like this is a real thing. Like,
Y'all a bit
ease
too
up on the
hyper.
caffeine. You know what? Let's do this real quick. Tips to help people cope with their lockdown blues and lockdown anxiety. Right? One, nobody's saying don't cook. As a matter of fact, what you can do is What the?
Oh dear.
What manner of sorcery is this?
I'm
The electrical people
terrified
is
of what
essential
coming
workers.
next.
We need one of y'all to come to the station.
What manner of sorcery is happening in the studio?
The people who fix ACs, are y'all essential?
Julian, come fix the people, Macy, please. All right. As I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by the heat.
The heat. We might fling back them windows by.
Something. But yeah, like I think it's cool. I think a lot of people are experimenting in the kitchen. I think that's a fun activity. Kind of spicing up your recipes a bit. You ain't got the same level of rush. So you got some time. Try something new and thing like that. But sitting around your house and just eating all day? No. No.
No.
Let's do some planning.
Yeah,
some budgets.
Yeah, remember y'all have to last until Thursday, Friday. Don't eat all the food and then tomorrow y'all looking around.
But I mean, even thinking about that, like I just thinking about the people, like some people sitting around and they're bored and so they have this over fixation where they just eat or drink.
Azem, I think we should go home. Because 2 people on the live, right? Literally just said the camera flicker at the same time, you have ghosts. And then, yeah, so 2 people on the live saying that we have ghosts in the studio. Apparently when the AC flickered, when the AC went off, something happened.
But Jade,
so made about you.
But we know the studio haunted for like a year now.
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
But the ghosts really showing themselves today.
It's just now that, what happened is, when the inmates are where the ghosts will play. That's what's going on here.
I'm going to see if
most of the offices in the complex are closed, and so the ghosts just having fun. They're just having fun. It's just that we happen to be the ones who come in.
So this is gonna be a week thing because
at least 14 days.
Oy.
14 days.
Oy. Listen, time out.
I wonder if ghosts has traveled by Zoom.
I don't think so, friend. I think you're ready.
Me free no ghosts anyway.
Somebody
do what you want, just don't just matter me.
Somebody said good morning. Why can't y'all bring someone that have I think they meant have had COVID to talk to us, and that will help understand about COVID. Up to yet, no, a lot yet. What? A lot of people haven't seen or known somebody that had COVID. I know somebody that had. I know several people that had COVID.
Right now, with how much active cases, a lot of people know somebody with COVID.
Yeah, maybe you don't, and I think that would be a good thing that you don't know anybody with COVID.
No, but I remember.
I think what also is happening too. I don't think those who have had COVID want to really make it a public
they don't
thing
want, a lot
beyond
of them
the
don't
friend
want to,
circle because there's so much scrutiny that
and
comes
stigma,
with it that people now.
I have a friend who
even though you
had
don't
COVID,
recover and everything, people probably gonna watch you and be like, "Oh, don't come next to me." Or
yeah. But I was about to say, I have a friend who had COVID, and some of the reactions that people, two friends. One who had it in the first wave, right? So last year, when we had a few cases, I have one friend, and that's one of the persons. He had it bad, and we spoke about the implications of him contracting the virus and stuff like that, and that was... I mean, even gonna say nothing. So we spoke about him. And what he was dealing with at the time and thing. But also I have a friend who had it during this wave, and some of the reactions from people. Some people have accused her of being in cahoots with the government. Some people accuse her of being used by the government. You ain't got a COVID, he's one of them who does one thing. Even though they have now tested negative for some time, they weren't vaccinated when they got the virus. They're now vaccinated, and people still don't want her to go around the children and stuff like that, and so
we can't.
I think somebody might. We could see who might be willing to talk, but I know that's a stigma. The stigma attached is something a lot of people are running from.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but what would What would they be in cahoots with the government to do?
Because they don't believe that there's actual corona. Are they boosting the numbers? So they have to. So they have people who. So I've heard this. There are people who believe that.
That's how
yeah,
that's a well one, but.
There are people who believe that there are people who are, being paid or whatever to basically say they have COVID.
Yeah, but okay.
To drive up the numbers to get people to vaccinate.
Yeah, but y'all different for Jamaica.
Yeah.
When the people who are accusing people of this, y'all are different breed of kids.
The thing about it, right? If you're not one of the people who are who in like power and like authority, the truth is, you have the luxury of being able
to just say whatever.
To say whatever. You could change the narrative. Today it could be one thing. Tomorrow it could be one thing or whatever. And so, like, yeah, it becomes very difficult to go back and forth with some of these people.
Yeah, I would think so. But as in, we have a call. People have been blowing up the phone lines, I guess because everybody home, as they should be.
Well, let's see how this thing goes. Good morning. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Yeah, a lot of things up to coming down.
Well,
good morning, you all.
Yes, sir. Morning.
Good morning, morning.
I'm here listening, man. I agree with every comment you all make, eh? Now, this thing here about, someone write and say that it will be good if someone who had the what you call it, the virus, to be present on the show. I can tell you something, brother, not even if you're going to pay them $1 million, they will go there. You know the reason why? We in St Kitts, we are very quick to stigmatize people. And everybody is afraid of being stigmatized. Even though we hear the news and we see the news, worldwide, the amount of people die from this disease. And people still catching it and falling down. And you have some ignoramus people with the nonsense come talking about people on radio talking about take vaccine and take this and take that. Well, they have a right to decide what they want and make their own decision. But still, when they see the truth, what else they want but the truth? What else they want? Some of them even talking about, you don't have to take no vaccine. You just live, so just the Lord will just move it. Yeah, the Lord will do his work, but we can't tell the Lord which work to do. That is what some people don't understand. You feel well and okay, yeah? The Lord will heal me, man. You're right, the Lord will heal you. You don't have to take no vaccine, but it's the same God inspired the scientists them with the knowledge. Knowledge shall increase, and knowledge has increased. And that's the reason why the scientists them are able to make these vaccines to help to fight these dreaded disease. But people will just be hardened in the ways and the mind. But they're not the truth behind that. Now, the government has state of emergency. And certain days it's total lockdown. Well, today I am saying this. You got an individual up and down the place on a motorcycle. And he ain't supposed to be out there. Now, when police catch him and the police enforce the law, you're going to hear all kind of talk, all kind of political reason why police do this. But the police are paid to enforce the law, and if the police catch them and they lock them up, I don't care what they say. I will do, but they're stupid is what they're coming on and talking all over the place. And to me now, I'm going to go, you know what the police them should do when you catch them? You can't hear, you have no reason, no legitimate reason to be out there on the road, going up and down the place. Put on the piece of mahogany wood brass round your hip. And then lock them up in the cell for 24 hours and still charge them. Charge them. Because I don't know what else they want. Eh? They ask for something, they get it, they still vex. They ain't ask for something, and you get it, they still vex. How are you going to please people? Come down, Father, come down. Bury someone say, come down. Anyway, guys, I'm enjoying you all here. Have a good day. Thanks.
Appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you very much for that caller.
I need to go listen to Barry's song, boy. That's a big tune. I
swear, at some point, Berries or Taurus was every mother's ringtone.
Bye. Bye. You might be onto something there, Kevon.
I'm convinced. at some point, back in the days when we had ringtones, we had little phones, everybody's mother either had a Perez song or a song from Taurus.
Yeah, man, they just used to put a phone by the radio and, record.
Superwoman was one, but everybody had Superwoman on them.
Yeah. But are we forgetting She's Royal? Everybody phone
Oh,
used
yeah.
to ring She's
Don't
Royal.
bother talk about that. Don't bother talk about that. But we have another caller. Oh.
Whoop.
Let's try this one. Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T. Oh.
Okay. Well, call from your house phones. Don't use your cell phones. Y'all home.
People got house phone now?
Yeah, boy. Especially older folk.
The older folks, yeah. You're right. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly why it always takes these extremes for us to get these levels of collaboration. Mm-hmm. Good morning, you're live on Island T. What's up? Morning.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, what do you? Okay.
How rude.
Oh,
yeah,
boy. But hey,
we have another one.
No. But I'm gonna say this because the last time I came in here and I was very critical. Big improvement on the Prime Minister's speech this last time.
Oh.
Big improvement.
Round of applause, boy.
Huge improvement.
Oh my gosh.
I think it would be irresponsible of us not to point out the improvement.
Yeah.
Because
we've
asked for improvement and we got it.
And we love that. I did hear some admittance that the last one would have been that they understood that the last one might have been a bit confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Just think based on things they said, I think Leslie would have said something to that effect and stuff like that. But yeah, man, way better, way better. And I think also part of it too is that this stuff was a bit more expected.
Mm-hmm.
So people's minds were a little more receptive to what he was saying and stuff like that. But I think the collective response was a way better this time.
Mm-hmm.
We have a caller. Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Okay.
Oh, man.
Everybody.
What's going on with the lines?
Everybody.
What's happening?
Let's try this one. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. Hopefully. Morning.
Good morning. Let me say, I don't think it's fair to give the impression that folks have been so contradictory in their responses to the handling. Okay. Yes, there are some, but not enough to give the impression that the general populace is in opposition to the efforts of the government, and that's just not so. Similarly, it is unfair to give the impression that we are all in this state because of a general and widespread lack of compliance. It's always easy to blame the collective rather than to look at the source or sources of the problem.
How the virus does move?
By people transmitting it. I'm getting to that. To that.
Okay, cool.
Hindsight is 2020. But I'd just like to point out that we had Anguilla as a case study. And we should have looked at their example where they had control of the outbreak in weeks because they went into 2-week lockdown immediately. So you can't blame people if they were recommending this, take the bitter medicine up front, okay, at the outset, rather than half measures. And note, too, that it took 6 weeks to determine the variant we are dealing with. And I really wonder about why it took so long. So if we had known what we were dealing with, we certainly would have closed down immediately after hearing that the variant was 6 times more transmissible than the original COVID-19. Okay? So and that's what I'm saying, right? We should have
So you believe, so what you're suggesting is that the reason that we're in the state we're in is because of the half measures taken by the government?
That's part of it. Yes, I agree there is no playbook. But what I'm saying is we had the Anguilla experience to look at. Where sure, you can try different things. But do you think that if they had to do this all over again, knowing what they know now with the variant, that they would not have closed down immediately? And remember, the impression given at the outset was that, well, first they called them clusters and gave the impression that, well, they were essentially relegated to those clusters. The cases that were developing had some kind of connection with previous cases. Not that it was widespread in the community. That was we realized how long it took before they actually called the word community spread as opposed to clusters.
So you think?
I'm saying
there is a reason for that too.
No, but I'm saying, do you believe that was somehow? Do you believe that they were purposely misleading the public? Or you think they said that based on the information that they had at the time?
Not purposely misleading. I don't know. I'm not privy to what information they would have had. Why they?
Yeah, but the thing is, when you say things like that, right? That's the impression people would get, because.
Yeah, and the thing is too, there's different tiers to it. It is not community spread until you can no longer track who's connected to who. It is only deemed community spread when the links, I don't know if there's missing links. When somebody pops up and you have no clue who's connected to how they got it. That is when the term community spread is introduced, because a cluster is identifiable. You can link each person to the person that they got it from, but it only becomes community spread when it is no longer linkable.
I understand that, okay? But that's why I said look at the source, right? They were privy to information about the source at the outset. Did they look at the fact that there was that the people came from a hotspot, and they quite possibly would have been dealing with a highly transmissible variant? Shouldn't that, at the outset, they knew this, okay? But it would appear that they dismissed that, okay? I say appear, that they dismissed that until they got back the results from CARFA.
What do you think some of the variables that they might have taken that decision? For instance, I know there were people who were advising against it. Do you think those people would have had some credibility to the argument?
Advising against what?
Against a total lockdown once we had that first. Once we recognized that there were people in the community who were contracting the virus.
There were people advising against it then? Once it was clear that there was community spread? I don't think so.
No.
They were advising against it.
What I'm saying is initially. As a matter of fact, there are people who still believe that that the total lockdown is a heavy measure. I don't agree with that.
Well, like I said, there is no playbook. But the reason why they may be coming up with that is when you look at the fact that we are one of the most highly vaccinated countries, okay? Despite the fact that we're still hovering around the 70%, okay? We are, in fact, one of the most highly vaccinated countries. Other people have been living with COVID, the other islands, okay? Right? And so they probably didn't feel the need to do that, not until the cases reach the 300 or whatever hundreds they're in. Because you see, we all say that at some point we got to learn to live with it. And so I guess they were thinking that in light of the fact that the economy, or well, businesses and so on were recovering, why go to the extreme of shutting them down again? Okay? But the problem is, we have now to look not just at what is happening internally, right? We look at the fact that the UK have this green and amber and red travel list advisory, so to speak, and we want to get on their green. And we can't get on their green until our numbers in terms of active cases, etc., go down. And similarly, the travel bubble that they have erected, basically around Barbados, where they have identified particular islands that are in this bubble. We can't get in the bubble, ironically enough, because our numbers are where they are. Okay? So what I'm saying is they had to deal. You couldn't just, at this point,
you see,
with COVID.
The issue I have with what you're saying is
you
that
have to get control.
The issue I have with what you're saying is that based on everything, recognizing that we're at this point one of the most vaccinated countries, recognizing the after effects and all of these things, it seems as though with that mindset, instead of taking what you would have termed a half measure and then graduating based on the progression of the disease, it seems as though what you're suggesting, someone with that mindset would then, every time there's an outbreak, just shut down the country. I don't know.
No.
You see,
what
I'm saying is, if based on everything you're saying, that would be the mind, to me, that would be the decision of persons who have that mindset. If, for instance, I believe that it was more a decision to lock down based on the situation at hand. So they may have determined, okay, if we have X amount of hospitalizations based on our capacity, or X amount of cases based on our ability to quarantine people, etc., then we would make these decisions. I think that would be. I think that would be a more wise approach, as opposed to assuming, because we could talk now because hindsight is 2020, but as opposed to assuming ahead of time, okay, we have a case, the person come from Argentina, well, best we just lock it down one time. I don't know how that would play. I don't know how that would play the general public, to be honest. And I don't know how that would play moving forward if we were to get control of this particular wave, and then, God forbid, get another wave, and then do the same thing again.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You have to have thresholds, triggers that do this, and those can be planned in advance of them happening.
Do you think that they were? Do you think they were none?
Does it appear to you that they were?
It appears so to me.
I don't think so. I think they got. I think how this developed, and the speed at which it developed, we got flat-footed on this one.
I think we got flat-footed in regards to. I think we were flat-footed in regards to what we would need to respond from an infrastructure perspective. So, for instance, contact tracers, trained EMTs, and so forth. But in terms of not having, for instance, I remember we were talking about it on the show and saying, I think that if we start getting to a point where the cases get to a certain point, but not only that, but that the hospitalization started going up, that we would see different measures being taken. I don't know. I mean, and that seems to be the case. When things got to a certain point, it seems as though they were like, okay, well, let's lock it down. But
do you think though that this what we've just went through can't happen next month? Do you think we've done all we can with regards to the protocols that we can prevent how this particular incident developed? Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. I think that we're in a position now. This is the first real case of community spread since last year, really, right? And so I believe that, like I said, the stuff that we had in place was not sufficient to deal with this kind of thing from an infrastructure perspective. I don't know, and even so,
right, infrastructure. But what level? What levels?
But I also think that
is it at the protocol level or the response level in between, or our general adherence or non-adherence to the mask wearing and contact and social distancing and sanitizing? At which levels do you think we fell down?
At all, like I think at all levels. I think the public had a sense of arrogance.
Acknowledging here.
That is the point.
Yeah, what I think what's a big factor that we are not acknowledging here is the fact that the federation was given instructions, and I'm sure everybody knows somebody that did not follow the procedures as instructed. So we have people who are running to the bank, leaving instructed self-isolation to go to the bank, to go to the supermarket. You can't expect the government to count the amount of persons that would have disobeyed the instructions.
No,
yes, there are other ways they could have done it. But we have
you're looking at the bank.
To consider people were not following instructions, which is why if persons were following instructions as from day one, I'm pretty sure we wouldn't have gotten this far. I could be wrong, but I'd take the chance and say we wouldn't have gotten this far, and then our numbers might not have spiked this quickly. But because people were not following instructions, we saw persons who are supposed to be in quarantine out and about. This is where we are.
But you go to the bank, you go to these supermarkets. Do you really see people breaking the protocols there? I don't see that at all.
The main protocol that I've seen broken at the thing is people admittedly being there who's supposed to be home. So that in itself is already a breach of the protocols. But so I think we've been on.
Imagine the NAC.
I think we've been on this call long enough, Kevon. Like, I feel like we thank the caller for his contributions, but yeah, we're gonna have to move on. But thanks a lot.
Yeah.
All right, man. But yeah, I feel like the thing is that at the end of the day, everyone is going to have to take responsibility for the situation we're in.
Agreed.
At the end of the day, and that goes from the policymakers right down to us who on the ground.
Yeah, because even the caller made a great point, and he said that we could have used Anguilla as the example, which is correct. But us as citizens did not use Anguilla as an example. The government might have looked at them and said, yeah, okay, let's look at what they did on the policy basis and all these things. But then what did the citizens look at Anguilla as an example? Did they look at Anguilla and say, boy, people going out and about and there's a community spread, maybe we should stay home? And did they follow suit? No, everybody's still out and about.
Yeah,
so there's responsibility has to be spread.
I think
everybody
it's
with
thing.
Every single country, they could have handled it better. But you can't handle something better if you don't know how to handle it. It's a learn as you go thing, unfortunately. But what are we doing as independent citizens to do our part?
No. Like, I think it's one thing to say, oh, the government should have do this, the government should have do that. But, like, we can't always have to depend on the government as a country. Like, yes, there are a body that is put in place and they make certain decisions, but what about our personal responsibility? Like, if I know there's people outside, if I know I'm supposed to be home because we're trying to alleviate a spread or trying to pull it back, why not just stay home? Why does it have to take a lockdown for us to do what we know we should have been doing?
Let's look at this. Let's look at the reality, right? From the general population standpoint, we had people who, prior to, even in the earlier parts when we recognized there were some cases, people who would not wear masks. Like, this is what happened. Yes, when you go to the bank or when you go to the supermarket or when you go to the doctor, you comply once you get through in the door and somebody there to tell you, wear your mask and sanitize. Mm-hmm. You come out, you take out your mask and you're walking up and down the place.
And we've seen it.
So it ain't about the institutions themselves. That's generally what was happening. Is people would comply once they're in a particular building, right? They come out of the building on the road, and I'm guilty of this. Even prior to the community spread, I walking around the road, I might not have on my mask, right? And I think it was a general arrogance. Like, as if, like, almost like some people felt, well, this ain't gonna happen to us.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And I think that we're paying the price for that arrogance.
The whole country.
Yeah, we're
From
paying the price for the arrogance.
To the people, the population. Like, everybody has to take responsibility.
Yeah.
It can't just be, it's the
Yeah.
government fault. It can't just be, it's the citizens' fault. It's everybody.
It's
like,
everybody.
we
everybody
don't,
is,
we don't
and then
always have to
somebody's
wait on
saying
the
it
government
here.
to tell us to do things. Like, we are big people. We are adults. Why does it always have to take the government to say, okay, lockdown? That's the only way to keep you
And
out
my
still.
thing is too, I think my thing is too, everybody knows I am the least politically driven person you probably know. When it comes to politics, please count me out of the conversation. But I don't care who is in power, who would have been in power. My thing is, we have to understand that no matter what a government does, you will have a batch of the population that does not agree. The government could, half the population is asking for a lockdown, half is saying don't lock down. You do the lockdown, you upset a portion of the population. You don't do the lockdown, you upset the other half of the population. You cannot win. The government has to weigh which is best in all across the board, which is best for the policies, which is best for the citizens, which is best for the economy. There's so many factors that we don't see them because we're not in the meeting rooms with them. We're not sitting down and we don't have a window into the conversations.
This is my
They
thing,
have
Kevon.
so many factors to view before they could just make a decision.
Yeah, and the thing about it too is that what I could criticize harshly is if there's the impression that there was no plan, and if moving forward, even after something like this happening, there isn't changes being made to bolster our resistance to this kind of situation and putting us in a better position to deal moving forward. Like, I feel like some of the things that we see now are going to have to inform decisions going forward, right? Going to have to inform decisions going forward. And if you don't see that, then okay, I could criticize or whatever. We always make suggestions in here. I will come in here confused again about the people in vaccination card, but and like I said, I think that as we go forward, we're gonna see. Let me not say that we're gonna see. What I hope to see is, in regards to how we are able to handle and mobilize in response to this thing, I would want to see, faster responses. So, for instance, people now knowing there's social alleviation programs, people seeing better rotation between the EMTs and the COVID, making sure that we have the right amount of contact tracers and how they think, hoping that we get another mobile unit for testing. So, like, these are the kind of things that I'm hoping to see moving forward, and I would criticize if they don't happen. But at the same time, I don't have enough information to be like, there was no plan prior to this. Like, whether or not I agree what the plan was, that's a different thing. But to say there is no plan, nah.
Yeah, I think that's unfair to say, because we're not in there with them. We don't know what the conversations are. They come and tell us things at the NEOC briefings, which would have mean they had conversations prior to the briefings. You know,
Yeah. There must always be some shortcomings. Like, for instance, you're looking at situation like, you're talking about case studies. We had Seychelles, we had India, right? Places that would have seemingly dealt with the pandemic upfront in a very robust way, and then had breakouts similar to our situation, right? Now you could look at the differences in the government response and stuff like that, and figure out, well, where people's allegiances, what's the agenda, like what's the level of importance, who they think important. Like, I haven't really seen situations happening now that suggest to me that the government, for instance, has some level of favoritism, some level they're not being accused of, for instance, forsaking the people that voted for them, and these are things that we see happening in other countries. Yeah? These are things that we directly see happening in other countries. So, I mean, I don't believe that there's any way we could say, well, by this person, whether it's here, Seychelles, whoever, handle it perfectly. There's no perfect handling of this thing. My thing is, Do you have a plan? Did the plan work? If it worked, how can we make it better? If it didn't work, well, let's get a new plan. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, like it's a trial and error thing. Like we have to remember that we've never had community spread. There's no playbook for this. This is the first time we've had to deal with a pandemic. There's literally no playbook. So, like, I understand that people will not agree with everything, but for you to constantly make it seem like, oh, they don't have a plan and I don't even know how y'all get to we.
Not only that.
We're not saying that, like,
forsaking the responsibility each of us has in our response to this. That is my issue. Like, I don't mind. We have to. There's nothing wrong with criticizing the government or suggesting different things and stuff like that. There. My thing is when you do that and continually forsake the responsibility of the individual, then we ain't gonna nowhere.
Yeah, like you.
Yeah, because you're sort of vindicating people from doing wrong. Because imagine last year when we had the complete lockdown, the government racked up over $500,000 in fines because people still wanted to be out and about. Exactly. Why are we not bringing up those things into the conversation? Yes, a lockdown restricts movement, but there's still people who basically tell themselves they can't be restricted and they do it anyway.
Like somebody.
Where's the responsibility put in on those persons for doing what they know they shouldn't do, even when they've been told and restricted from doing so?
Exactly. Like somebody just messaged me and said a young man who lives behind them has a girlfriend that has COVID, but because he tested negative, he thinks it's best to be out and about, and they had to tell him not to come back into their yard last night. Like.
Yeah. I mean, even there's still some misunderstanding of exactly what and how things work. So, for instance, I know people who complain to me about the fact that how is it that my first test negative and then they come back and test me 2 weeks later and are positive? And I say, okay, when did you get tested? What was the impetus for you doing that? Oh, I had this girl in the office and she sister had it and she come work, so we went to get tested. I said, cool. So you get tested the same day that you possibly would have been in contact with the person. You're not going to get a positive test either way. But you have to quarantine still because there's no way to assure that you were not exposed. So now 2 weeks later, when the virus builds up in your system, you get a positive test. And at that point, at least you're still positive, so you have to do the 2 weeks again. Like,
right.
But I mean, what we see happening too. That's exactly what it means.
What we see happening too is we see some persons that come into contact with one person. So, for example, their sister would have tested positive. They would have got tested, gotten a negative result, and for some people, they think as though that means I do not and will never have it.
Right.
So no matter who I come into contact with after, I already have a negative result, which means I'm good. You can catch it from anyone. So not because you got a negative result this week means you can't get one next week.
No, the thing is, it takes and it depends on time. It depends on when you did come in contact with the virus,
right?
When you contracted it, and the incubation of the virus. So it depends a lot. There's a lot of factors that determine whether or not you get positive or negative results.
You know, I want
ice cream.
No.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. But you know what I would like to know? If people think that governments don't make mistakes, or if people think that the plans that the government put in place have to work as soon as they put them in place, like there's no room for trial and error? Well, is everything that is implemented supposed to work the first time they do it?
Well, I don't see. My thing is, I don't believe that a lot of people who criticize the government have that mindset.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think a lot of people. No. I think it's a matter that you could look at what they do, you didn't agree, whatever. Like you could disagree and have different views without thinking like, well, because it ain't work somehow, the government has failed and whatever. Like we do it all the time. We come in here and we talk about the things. It ain't a matter that we feel like there's total incompetence just running around the government. Like I don't think that's the case. But I think that again, it's a matter of understanding what it is you're tempering your expectations in a realistic way.
Some people don't got them there.
And I think what happens is that for some people, we overestimate the response of the government, and then we underestimate the responsibility of the people.
Well, with that being said, I think it's time for a break, friend.
Oh,
that was spicy this morning, boy.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, should we home? And I mean, we're supposed to be home.
I don't think so. I think that was a good conversation.
All right. Well, we'll be back with more Island Tea. Stay right here on WINNmedia SKN. Stay tuned.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WINN FM.
We are faced with tough decisions every day, but choosing the right home or motor insurance shouldn't be one. You need fast claim settlement from a company that's been rooted for over 31 years. And don't forget the A Excellent rating by AM Best. Make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Reliable insurance that you can count on. Get a quote today for your home, motor, contents, and liability insurance needs, and make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance. Tomorrow secured. Local agents, Dalil Walwyn & Co. Limited. Telephone 465-2631 or 469-5303 for the Nevis office.
Run to Hosford's Furniture and Appliances in Ashley Furniture Home Store now and get a chance to win free groceries for 1 year. By popular demand, Cashback is back, but this time Cashback is back with more quality appliances, more great prices and fantastic deals, more of Hosford's fabulous FlexPay payment plan, and more free groceries. A whole year of free groceries. Come to Hosford's Furniture and Appliances in Ashley Furniture Home Store today and get absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase and a chance to win free groceries for 1 year. Great deals on furniture and appliances. Get cash back for free groceries with FlexPay hire purchase and a chance to win free groceries for 1 year with every $500 spent. All great reasons to shop at Hosford's Furniture and Appliances in Ashley Furniture Home Store this coupon season. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Azem, featuring Jade, Gwyneth, Johnson.
Morning. Once again.
Hi, inmates. How are you guys? I hope y'all had your tea for the morning. Yeah, I'm gonna call y'all inmates for the next 2 weeks.
Oh my God. Oh.
Well, let's.
Oh, you mean?
Yes.
No.
To the sick so we can't do about that.
Let's talk about some. Oh, I have to sing. Tea time. Possible.
Yeah,
so
what would that?
So let's jump into some more positive stuff. So let's talk about St Kitts Music Festival, and they have promised that we will receive an experience like no other for 2022. And let me tell you, just reading that, I just felt the epic sensation of being in that crowd. Okay, so on a day like the weekend, patrons of the this past weekend, patrons of the St Kitts Music Festival would have had an experience like no other. The music festival weekend in St Kitts, just went right past us. But with the ongoing pandemic, the possibility of heading over to the Kim Collins Stadium to enjoy 3 nights of music from local, regional, and international performers was for this year became possible. And again, last year as well. So 2 years, no music festival. But we are reminiscing the weekend, filling social media with our favorite music festival moments of the past and wistfully talking about what night they would have been attending and who they were excited to see. It's no surprise though, as the 23-year-old festival has become a mainstay on the summer festival scene, with people traveling from every corner of the globe to immerse themselves in excitement. In December 2019 and February 2020, the St Kitts Music Festival Committee, I keep saying St Kitts Nevis because I've been reading Nevis so much, but they made their announcements releasing the name of artists who would touch the stage for the 3 nights of entertainment. Because of the pandemic, all gatherings and events have been suspended in St Kitts and Nevis.
You know what's funny? Like, I completely forgot that this weekend would have been music festival weekend and White Sands and other activities. Like, I literally forgot. It's only because I went on Facebook and I saw some posts from music festival. I was like, oh yeah,
I remember.
These things would have been happening.
Listen.
We would have been outside.
So
I miss these things so much. 2 years.
why is it so early
2
that
years,
Christopher
just like that.
dragging me like this?
Yeah.
Why Christopher dragging me like this? Am I the only one that's seeing this?
Christopher?
He said, is it just me or when Kevon sing Tea Time just now you hear the bell of the Undertaker ringing? I don't know if that's a drag, you know. Make sure if that's a drag.
I think it is.
Well,
but let's I'm telling you.
I mean, things like this is like we miss Music Fest and everything that it brings and all of that and thing. But it's just recognition of. I just speaks to the situation that we continually facing. Like, I mean, this is just we have these every now and again. We have these reminders
of
that
what could have been.
Of not just of the fact that, hey, you're in a pandemic.
Yeah,
and some of these reminders gently come up and nudge you on the shoulder, and some of these reminders come up and just give you one slap in your face. Like, remember me? Why? Music Fest is a big slap in your face.
Huge.
But it is what it is, you know. Like, it is what it is.
Hopefully.
I know, and I think they spoke to it in the article. You know, I know the music festival is looking into ways, even though we couldn't do the festival in the way that we're accustomed to, they were looking into ways to possibly do something, you know. And with this situation happening now with the community spread and the lockdowns and restrictions and stuff like that, even that went a begging. So yeah.
But if all goes well, the 24th staging of the St Kitts Music Festival is expected to take place from June 22nd to the 26th of 2022. So
I'm not even putting dates to these things here because remember last year it was like, oh yeah, this year when we got music festival, and this year when we have not me. I need to see that before I even get.
I was the one who kept saying, if I feel 2021 gonna be so different, me, and I just don't understand why.
No.
Because we have
my state of mind is
okay.
Yeah.
I hope to, but I hope based on facts.
But I hope differently. So me, what I now do is I just tell myself I can't wait for the next St Kitts Music Festival. When will that be? I don't know, but I'm excited for the next one because
right.
Saying next year is sort of setting up myself for disappointment. Not saying it's not going to happen, but there's still a possibility that because you know, if all goes well, the staging will happen. But so.
I can't wait to be like, oh, remember when we was going through a pandemic?
Yeah.
Well. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see exactly how we put lineups together and stuff moving forward because, I know there's some of the acts who have already committed for the 2022 edition. But are those the acts that people are gonna want to see then? Are they the acts that are gonna be?
That is true.
So it's gonna be interesting to see how the balance goes. And to be honest, I'm one of the people who I don't really get all excited because somebody just got a hot song right now. You know, you want to see good performances. Let me just say me. I want to see good performances. And I think the lineup that we had for 2020 was a strong lineup. I think that if we get some of those artists back, I think it could make for a good show, no matter who we augment with.
Mm-hmm.
So, and not only that, I think people can just want to be a part of it because we're back.
Listen, people just want to go outside and Azem. People literally just want to go outside. Like, I honestly think that I'm going to see people cry on Juve morning just in the middle of the road.
2025?
2026. Yeah. Just
Me.
stop
That's
and bawl.
That's me.
That's me too.
And I'm going to cry tears of Prosecco.
Cry tears of Prosecco.
Like, I see some people say they're going to have to screw
and I'm
them
going
up
to
off
drink
the
them.
pavement to take them home. Like, oh yeah.
Let's not do that.
I'm going to cry tears of Prosecco. And I will drink them.
Let's not have somebody scrape you back home to your children, please.
Not, you know what, because they're drunk, you know, but just because they wouldn't want to leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hate seeing my countrymen just like flat out in drains and so. I hate seeing it.
You hate seeing it, but it's a part of our culture. Big up Scotty. Big up Scotty, what time?
I think we need new thresholds for our culture. I think we need new thresholds for our culture,
Listen,
man.
Scotty is committed, okay? Scotty is committed. Every video I've seen of Scotty for Juve has been. You see the one from his Juve in where was Miami? Some place Scotty went to Juve and was mudsliding. Literally mudsliding.
I don't know. I'd be on the I'd be in the vast minority of my responses to these things. So I'd just keep shut half the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
We know.
If that's what you like.
It is.
Yeah, more power to you.
Yeah, that's the thing.
If that's what works for you, enjoy.
Yeah. It is what it is, man.
2026, boy.
2026.
Like I said, my whole thing is
I had so much ideas.
Save them till 2026. Develop them. By the time 2026 come, you don't know what you could come up with. And we're not saying Carnival is not coming back till 2026. We're just giving ourselves some space. Because
tempering expectations.
Here's a good thing. Here's a good thing. When you do get the chance to go somewhere, Liat is there to help. So, not Liat, but Antigua. This is a start. So Antigua and Barbuda, they're moving forward with plans to cut airport taxes. From Monday, which is today, regional air travelers to Antigua and Barbuda will pay 50% less in airport taxes. This was revealed by Prime Minister Gaston Brown on his weekly radio show yesterday. We will do so for 6 months to see how it impacts on revenue and then to make a final determination going forward as to what percentage is sustainable.
6 months?
The Antigua and Barbuda government, so a trial period of 6 months.
Well, you're going to do the trial period during time of decreased demand.
That makes sense.
No, I'm not saying don't do it. No, I'm just saying I don't know how usable that data is going to be.
Well, I think this data would have been way more valuable prior to the pandemic, but I think using a 6-month trial period for air travel during a pandemic is a bit
maybe he counting on.
I don't know what he counting on.
It's not going to give accurate data.
Maybe maybe he could be counting on the bubble. You know, the little bubble that we have right now. No, okay. Well,
No, don't get me wrong. I'm glad, and I hope that more countries follow suit.
Mm-hmm.
I hope more countries follow suit.
St Kitts. That's. I mean, we can't run away anyway, but still.
Let me keep going. So the government of Antigua and Barbuda announced last week that PM Brown, who will take over the chairmanship of the CARICOM, will propose a departure tax cut of 50% to regional leaders when they meet on June 25th. So PM Brown noted that taxes make up most of the cost of tickets between regional countries. He stated that a more streamlined tax system will reduce the cost of tickets and boost intra-regional tourism sector, which will develop once a travel bubble for vaccinated nationals is created. The PM said that establishing a regional travel bubble would be a win-win for all countries involved and LIAT, since travel is all but non-existent. The Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the OECS, the members have already started discussing the matter, and a decision can come sometime in the near future, according to Brown. I really hope that the Caribbean adopts this.
Same.
Even outside of LIAT, it will do so much for the region when travel gets back to a place that is sustainable.
Trust me, I've never understood why just going to a neighboring island costs so much. And again, we can't really just blame the airline because half of it is government tax.
Yeah, most of it.
Yeah, because if if you have to look at, and tickets do give you breakdowns. If you look at the ticket breakdown, your ticket costs you like 150 US, but then you see the taxes slapped on is 250 US. So it's just like, okay.
When they reach to the part with the taxes, my chest is just because it's
collapsed.
It is so ridiculous for those taxes to be that high. Like,
yeah,
we
but
want to
it's like I said,
regional travel, but like realistically, something has to change for that to happen. Because
it's good that it's happening, but yeah, I mean, I wish it happened earlier, but it's happening nonetheless. So let's hope that other member states adopt the proposal and
What? By the way, Liat, I still gunning for you. I want my money, but
no, but
I get breaks along.
We'll give you an example. I'm literally just checking. So I checked flights to Miami, and I checked flights to Miami yesterday. I could have gotten round trip to Miami for $540, right? On American. Round trip to Antigua right now is actually just a bit more than that. Well, if I go with the cheaper.
Sorry?
Yeah, round trip. So here, from St Kitts to Antigua, the flights range from $228 to $282.
To go right there?
Right.
Which way Antigua be?
And then the flight back from Antigua, they range from $282 to $370. But I could go to Miami for $540 round trip. It's literally cheaper to go to Miami
than to go right next door.
A 20-minute flight.
Okay.
So something needs to change. Something needs to change. Something needs to change. Right?
You know how ridiculous that sounds, Azem?
But it's been like that.
I know. That is my point. That is completely ridiculous. To go right there, you know? Antigua is literally next door.
Cousins,
and we have to spend all that money, and we could go to Miami, who is way far.
I'm telling you guys, like I've literally looked at flights to China that are cheaper than going to certain places in the Caribbean.
So imagine like a 17-hour flight is cheaper than a 20-minute flight.
That is what the politicians need to go into these places and discuss. When y'all meet up in y'all group chat, nobody just say these things in the group chat. Like Uncle Gaston, what happened? I know he probably didn't say
Gaston it. Gaston wanted to be saying it, and everybody just been like, "We don't cool this." We don't settle down.
We're not supposed to listen to the man or listen to the man.
Settle and cease.
The man telling y'all the flight is ridiculous for us to have some better interregional travel. These taxes have to be lowered, and I'm ignoring the man. You know when you're in a group chat and you're talking and nobody answering you? I feel like that's what has happened when Uncle Gaston starts to talk about the taxes and the flights.
It's probably Uncle Gaston's fault.
You think so?
Yeah.
How come?
Have you seen Uncle Gaston's talks?
His speeches?
Oh boy.
His speeches.
Yeah. But I mean, hopefully this is something that we could see adopted moving forward. I think we, especially now, once we start getting out of this the situation we're in, we're gonna have to do something to spark intra-regional travel again. And the price has been the biggest hurdle for most people. Yeah, that's being the biggest source of discouragement when it comes to interregional travel. The price, and we know that, and like we said, we know that's the taxes. So it's something that they can really do, and I think they can actually probably gain more money. I think they gain more money based on the increased traffic. So we'll see. I mean, the plane coming anyway. If it's one person on it, or it's 10 people, the plane coming. So we don't try to get the plane come with more people.
That's I think that's a good way to do it.
Well.
So
good
news on some front.
I went up the airport yesterday.
Are you almost crying?
I went to the airport yesterday. I was like, wow, this feels so strange.
I don't even remember how the airport looks. You know, when it's time to use the escalator, I can fall. Cause I don't remember how to use that.
Jade at the top, like, just timing it, just rocking, timing.
Well, let's touch on this last thing quickly.
Please.
So the NHC is monitoring 2 systems in the Atlantic Ocean. The U.S. National Hurricane Center has given 2 areas of concern in the Atlantic Ocean a low chance of development into a tropical cyclone over the next 5 days. The first system is a surface trough interacting with an upper level low. Miss Edmead, I don't remember what that means, but it is producing a broad area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms about 600 miles southeast of the U.S. state of Georgia. The NHC forecast says that surface pressures remain high across the area and significant development of the system is not anticipated due to dry air and unfavorable upper level winds. It has a low chance of formation during the next 48 hours and 5 days. The disturbance is expected to move westward today. Well, today as in when the article was written. But the second system is an area of low pressure associated with tropical wave located in the eastern tropical Atlantic Ocean. So the first one is, for visual sake, it's above the Bahamas. This next one is coming off the coast of Africa, which is sort of en route to us.
That's what it is then.
Right.
Yikes.
So this one, it also has some slow development, and it's possible through the middle of the week while it moves a little faster towards the west, that it has about a 20% chance of formation. So keep your eyes peeled. It's hurricane season. Don't wait until things are being announced and alerts are going out to try to prepare. We are also in a state of lockdown, which means use your Thursday and Friday to get your material.
Well, I don't even think those businesses will be open on Thursday and Friday.
Well, they're essential businesses, so I'm not sure if they're gonna be open.
They weren't open during.
No, doubt it.
They weren't open.
So Wamp, hope you're prepared.
Yeah, I mean, if I do believe that if it comes to a point where we anticipate a hurricane, then they'd make the proper adjustments.
Provisions. So in the meantime, make your list. Make sure what items you have at home are items that can still be used. Check your batteries, and if there's items that are missing from your list or items that are no longer functional or usable, make a list of the things you need to replace. So when the time comes and we're given the opportunity to do so, we can have those things replaced.
Don't wait, hurricane.
New slogan. I have to find a way to sing it, but Christopher's made me very insecure.
The man said, "Don't wait, hurricane,"
But you know exactly what I mean, though. You know exactly what I mean.
The man said, "Don't wait, hurricane." Oh, ridiculous, ridiculous.
I know exactly what I mean.
So don't wait, hurricane.
Remember, beetle wing flap fast in WINN. Okay.
Go to a break, Kevon. Go to a break.
Just remember that.
Go to Kevon.
Remember, Jade, all hurricane winds us blow,
Okay. Oh.
And with that being said, we'll take a very short break and we will come back with more Island Tea on WINN Media. So please don't wait, hurricane.
different. We're 98.9. 98.9 WINN FM.
Good morning, my little superheroes. Tell me, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
The power to read minds. Super speed. Pew. The power to heal the sick.
Well, you can get smart, speed, and good health with the superhero trio from Hanley Orange. Hanley Orange has delicious omega-3 bursts, sugar-free multivitamin liquid, and flavored vitamin A, C, and D chewables to support a strong immune system, healthy bone development, and acute mental performance for superheroes like you. Part of the Hanley Orange family.
Cool. Energize your goals with Lucasade. Get it cool. Look under the cap. Find the code. Win it. Thousands in prizes. iPhones and TVs. Or win 30 grand US dollars for your goals. That's goals.
For a chance to win 30,000 US dollars. Purchase any Lucasade Energy promo bottle. Look under the cap and find the code to win iPhones, TVs, and free Lucasade for 30,000 US dollars to energize your goals. See website, social media, or press for details. Lucasade, taste the energy.
If you own or work with animals, please follow these tips to avoid getting the coronavirus. Please keep pets away from areas where you are preparing food and eating your meals. Thoroughly wash your hands after handling animals and animal waste. Avoid contact with sick or stray animals. And always remember to wear protective gowns, gloves, and facial protection when handling them. As the novel coronavirus spreads, it is important that you continually disinfect your home. Viruses can gather on surfaces such as doorknobs, computer keyboards and mouse, cell phones, tablets, railings, kitchen and bathroom countertops, and remote control devices. To avoid transfer of viruses, wipe down these surfaces regularly with disinfectants such as Clorox, Lysol wipes, or soap and water. Avoid touching your face or your loved one's faces after touching any of these types of surfaces. It is very easy for viruses to be transferred in this way. When preparing food, be sure to use different knives and cutting boards for raw meats and cooked foods. Wash your hands before and after handling raw meats. Also, wash your hands before and after using cooked food. Be sure to cook food thoroughly before eating it. This is a message from the Ministry of Health and the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA.
Welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Azem, and it's time to jump into our favorite, well, the nation's favorite segment, Eat Local.
Eat local.
Good morning, guys.
We have some guests here who are joining us from the constituency number 2 of the St Kitts and Nevis Labour Party. And from morning, for what I'm seeing, we have Tamika Basu, we have Kareem KB, as well as Marsha Henderson joining us via Zoom. How are you guys doing?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I am fine. How are you?
Well, you know, we're okay as usual under these circumstances.
As fine as can be.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody just now ain't even sure to answer the question. Is like, how you doing?
We are
okay.
Holding on.
But yeah, well, KB, you actually the one who sound like you're up and rearing to go. What's going on with the group? What's going on with the constituency two leg of the St Kitts and Nevis Labour Party? What do you guys have going on?
Well, right now we're just here to let the public know that things are happening in Central. Right? So we are here to share our plans with you guys.
So what plans are those? I mean, you know, everybody home and listening because we're supposed to be anywhere. So what plans do you guys have for us during this nice little lockdown that we are under?
Well, the first thing on the top of the agenda for the branch is to try to put the executive in place. And we are here today. I think Kareem will tell you more. I will talk more about the executive, and Kareem could tell you about our initiative, which is to organize and centralize. And what we mean by when we say we're organizing and centralizing.
Okay, so there's some internal stuff happening with the party, as well as you guys are reaching out into the community, is what I'm getting.
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, sweet. So where you guys want to start? You guys want to start internally, or you guys want to start with what the people of Central could expect from the movement?
Kareem or Tamika?
Yeah,
okay.
Well, we're going to start internally.
Okay, cool, nice.
Yes, and basically we after the elections, we did an assessment as to where we are and why we are where we are. And so we had, I think it was last year or early this year, I can't remember exactly when, we had a retreat where we had a poll done and, you know, we looked at the results. And subsequent to the retreat, we had what we called a vision board meeting, where we could establish, in the interim, of course, until the executive is installed, the vision going forward, where we want to see ourselves. And so we came up with the theme of organizing and centralizing. We went back to the drawing board, of course, and we came up with some plans. And at the top of the agenda is to put the executive in place so that we can have some structure.
Right. So it's obvious that you know, the candidate would not have gotten the results that they wanted in the last election, and then subsequent to that, what you're saying is you guys went back to the drawing board, and now we are seeing some of the execution of some of those plans that would have come out of those meetings. Correct?
Correct.
That is correct.
All right. So explain to me what is meant by the organizing and centralizing. Who wants to take that one?
Masha?
Okay. Well, like I said before, Azem, organizing is basically what we did. We went back. We had a retreat. It included having a poll done, and an assessment as to where we are and why we're at this point where we are. And so we are reorganizing, because we were always organized, not that we were never organized, but we are reorganizing, of course, and it includes strategizing, and going forward. And of course, the centralizing aspect of it has to do with us doing all of this and that is my dog, forgive me, my puppy.
Morning, what's his name? What's his, is it her?
It's a him. He's Bruno.
Oh, Bruno.
Morning, Bruno.
Morning, Bruno.
I like that name.
Yes, and I was saying the centralizing, of course, has to do with us doing this whole initiative is for our centralites, all of the persons who form part of the constituency in Central. And so that is our mantra, organize and centralize for at this point in time. We want to expand to include not just, the persons who were initially involved, but to, have a broader base and have all of the persons in Central involved. Hence why we're here this morning on this, campaign of awareness.
Okay, awesome. Well, I mean, you were saying something, KB.
Yeah, I was saying, that we are in Central, and we are one of the most diverse constituencies in the island. So, the one of the reasons for restructuring is so that we can better cater to the needs of every ethnicity, every background of persons in the community.
All right. Yeah, and I it's great that you guys recognize that. And so what I'm getting is that there's going to be some changes going forward as it relates to the executive. How will the new executive look, and how would it be different from what was previously in place?
Sorry, Karim.
I could speak to the new structure. We will have in place a chairperson. Also, a part of the team will be the past chairperson. Have 2 vice chairpersons, a secretary, a treasurer, and assistant treasurer. And this person's functions as the assistant secretary and the assistant treasurer. We are going to also have a women's representative and a youth representative. So in total, we have about 7 elected positions for this new committee.
All right. I guess I understand that in terms of the structure. But you hinted that there's a recognition that the diversity of the constituency also would need diversity in representation. Is that something that you guys are really trying to achieve with, putting this new group of people together?
Yes. I didn't really mention it, but we have a few working committees that will speak to the specific needs of those group of people.
And what are some of the demographics that you guys have identified, or at least some of the categories that you guys see need addressing in the community?
I think that hello, good morning. I think the Hispanic community especially, we've seen a growth in that area. So that aspect needs to be addressed. Definitely. The youth, for sure, because, we are the future. So we need a bit more representation in that aspect. So the executive should be all-inclusive in a sense, to involve people from all age groups, different backgrounds, as Karim said, so that they can be represented fairly equally.
Okay, definitely. I mean, we've definitely seen how these communities have been shifting. The demographics of the communities have been shifting. So it's good to know that the you know,
being left out.
And that you guys recognize that and move in a way that really brings some representation.
And we also want to be more visible and people-centric as it relates to that. We want to move away from just the candidate alone being the only person you see, the face of the constituency, in that sense.
Well, I would assume that the executive and the people that are supporting the candidate have been working all this time, even though sometimes, like you said, they might not have been at the forefront or visible as much. But what are some of the achievements of the party in the constituency? Some of the things that you guys have been proud of, whether it's in the past or even more recently, you know, prior to what's happening now with the new executive being put in place.
Well, I am personally proud of the fact that we've had a competent representation from a female in relation to our representative from Central. We've had the Honorable Master Lalaibud, and she's represented us competently. And maybe as a female, maybe I'm a little biased, but that's one of the things I'm proud of.
Nothing is wrong with that. Little female empowerment.
At all.
I'm for it. I'm about it. I'm for it.
We're repping hard.
Awesome.
I am, personally proud of the different outreach programs we have established, especially the Central Bastion Future Leaders Camp that has been around for over 10 years now, and I have been a part of for the 10 years, so I'm especially proud of that in particular.
Sounds like you're gearing up to jump into the arena, because this 10 years is a lot of experience. So Karim, what are you personally proud of?
Well, I can't say that I'm personally proud, but I'm happy to be a part of a team that was responsible for revolutionizing housing in Central Bastion.
Yep.
We come from an area that is densely populated, and so our candidate, our representative, would have been responsible for establishing quite a number of houses that were catering to the needs of the people in Central. So I feel like I'm not personally proud, but that is something I feel like I can highlight.
Yeah.
Sure. We've had Shadwell Housing Development. That's one of our developments. We have the newest one, which is East West Farm, which was, the fact that because Central was landlocked, we had to find an area outside of the Central Bastion area, and a lot of persons were empowered through land ownership in the East West Farm area. So we've had a significant empowerment of our constituents. As Karim said, we revolutionized the whole home ownership or land ownership thing in Central Bastion. So I join in with Karim, and that is one of our biggest accomplishments as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Would have seen. I know personally of some people who would have benefited from some of those programs. Is there real plans? For instance, you guys are people, from the community who are involved in steering the party's response in that particular constituency. What are some of the lingering issues that you guys are really hoping to try and find some solutions for as it relates to constituency number 2, particularly the Macknight area?
Well, definitely we think that there's a concern that some persons think that they're not getting the opportunity to be involved. So we're hoping, with the new executive that it can be inclusive, as Tamika and Karim said earlier, that we can get a number of persons involved who would have a voice. We they'd have an opportunity to sit at the table and shape the policies that would or the decisions that would affect the constituents in Central Bastia. So I think that is one of our biggest areas of focus. And this is a call for persons to come on board. So that's one of the areas I think we're hoping to, one of the objectives to achieve, that we would have more persons on board. It would be more broad-based. You would see representation from the diverse, the diversity in Central, the different, whether it's the Spanish, the younger folks, everybody. We want everybody to have a voice.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it would be important. It would be important to have, as many people from different varying backgrounds involved in the direction of the constituency and the planning. How would one reach out and become more involved with what you guys are doing? What's the process? Who do we call? Is there a Facebook page? Like, how do we, if I'm someone who is interested in what you guys are saying and want to be a part of the conversation, how do I do that?
Well, there is a Facebook page. It's the Central Bastia Labour Branch. And you could also, a person's interested in reaching out to us can also visit centralbastia.com and fill out the form that we have there. And we can also be reached by the numbers 662 2185. Is that?
You could repeat it?
662 2185.
All right, nice.
Or 765 6798.
All right, cool. And so we reach out to you, either come and fill out the form, or we could contact you guys on either of those numbers.
Yeah, so centralbastia.com and fill in the form, and we receive your information.
Well, I'm sure people listening who are interested in becoming a part of this, because we have a lot of younger people in the community now paying more attention to politics and all of those things. Like, what do you say to people who ask questions like, how do I join this movement, and what would be beneficial in the long run for them? Like, how do you encourage people to join you guys?
Well, we basically show them the plans that we have, things that we've done in the past, because there are things that we have, for instance, like the summer camp that Tamika mentioned. We had at least 25 young persons being the camp leaders at volunteering to be camp leaders at that camp. And a lot of persons, even though the camp is full every year, a lot of persons didn't know about that. So things like that, young persons are interested in, because we always want to be doing something.
For sure. And I also want to take the time to encourage people to get involved in some way in community building. A lot of times, we sit back and we kind of complain and say, well, what they're doing. But a lot of times the question is, well, what am I doing? And, finding ways to get involved, it definitely is a way for you to try and impact the change you want to see. But we
find that there are not enough young persons getting involved, and I mean there is an emergence now of young persons who are showing an interest, but this is definitely the opportunity to get involved, and we want to assure you that once you show interest, that your voice would be heard. So we want you to come to the table. This is an opportunity to be a part of shaping your decisions that affect the future of Central Bastia, and we want you to know that your voice will definitely be heard. It's not just about having a voice, but at the end of the day, your voice would be heard.
Like, we are currently in the middle of a pandemic, as everybody can see. Like, how has this been hindering your plans and preparation for constituency number 2?
Well, in terms of the election, it may somehow delay it, but we're still working. We're still meeting virtually. We're still sticking to the plan and the objectives. But we have set a date tentatively for the elections, which is supposed to be, I think, on the 29th of July. We had intended to open nominations between the period of 1st to 7th July. But based on what's happening right now, we have an electoral committee that is, governing the whole process, running the whole process, and we would hear from them as to what would happen, in light of what's happening with the pandemic. But we do have a date set for the 29th of July, and nominations should be open sometime shortly. We would wait to hear what the decision is. But other than that, we've been working. We continue to, we have some objectives. Like I said, we had noted at the retreat. We continue to meet and work. We have not stopped, and we're still working. So.
All right, awesome. It's good to know that. I mean, even though you might have a few delays, that you guys are still pushing forward and still doing what you have to do. I guess that speaks to just how serious you guys are about what it is you're trying to achieve. But again, really want to thank you guys for coming out. But before we wrap up, is there any last words, Tamika? I feel like you were shy today. Going on.
No, well, everything was said that should have been said already. But I just want to say, I have had a deep connection to my community and a desire to actually give back. And joining this movement, or should I say this organization, has definitely allowed me to do so. So if you share that passion, you should definitely come on board and get involved, especially to the youth, for sure, because we oftentimes, our voices go unheard, and that's because we have no one to actually represent us. So I want them to be a part of that decision-making process, that policy-making process.
For sure. KB, what about you, man? Any last words before we wrap up?
Yeah, I just want to invite persons to, anyone who has the community at heart to come on board. We have a team. Our team itself is diverse. As you see here today, we have 2 young ladies, and maybe I should point out all 3 of us are young persons. So anybody coming on board would know that any young person coming on board would know that the faces are the same as yours.
Yeah, guys. Okay. And Marsha, what about you? Any final words for the viewers and the listeners?
Well, if I could just pick up from where Kareem and Tamika stopped. I know when we were having some discussions, what came out was that Robert Bradshaw was between 16 to 20 years old when he started advocating for change for the workers. And I know there is a general call for youth activism in Central Bastille. And we want you to know it doesn't matter how young you are, you can come on board. But we also are, we want to get everybody on board. It's not just young people, but there's a call for everybody, like we said. We want it to be all inclusive, so for everybody to come on board. This is an opportunity for you to shape the direction that you want to see the constituency and ultimately the country on a whole. So, we look forward to you joining and coming on board, and we value, we would value what you bring to the table at the end of the day.
All right.
Just a willingness to learn, a willingness to serve, and the willingness to just come forward.
All right, awesome. So guys, if you're interested in ways in which you could get involved in community planning, even getting involved in politics and the things that shape so many aspects of our life, this is definitely one aspect you could do so. But guys, really thank you guys for joining us. KB, I just want you to know that I totally I totally support the message that you're sending. And
what message is that, Azem?
I mean, the man says so much today.
Oh, I thought you meant his shirt.
Oh, well, that too. But yeah, guys, really appreciate you guys coming out and sharing us with about what's happening. And really look forward to hearing about the new developments. Hopefully, the new executive could come and join us and let us know what the plans going forward would be. Good luck with the elections when they come up, and with everything that you guys have going on.
And thanks for having us as well.
For sure.
Yes.
Appreciate it. But guys, it's time. We have to wrap up.
We have to go because they have National Assembly next.
National Assembly. Why do you think they're really going to talk about? COVID. If I have to take one guess.
COVID.
State of emergency.
But yeah, guys, it's been a real pleasure having you guys join us here today. Hopefully, you guys were relaxed in your beds, sipping on some tea. We know that this is lockdown. Remember, check up on your friends. When I say check up on your friends, don't mean run across the road go see what's going on.
Please, that's not what he means. He means
yeah, FaceTime, WhatsApp.
we have these electronics for a reason.
Smoke screen, whatever, like
A pigeon.
anything.
Don't call me, please. Nobody call me.
Well, we don't mean you apparently.
Nobody can call Kevon.
Yeah, please don't call me.
I don't know what he does. Be here anyway.
Kevon,
but don't call me.
Kevon had a friend at time, you know.
What do you mean?
He had a friend at time.
And what happened?
Well, I don't know exactly what happened, but he had a friend at time. But yeah, guys, we really appreciate you guys and all our friends on the live. Thank you so much for being a part of the conversation. Everyone who called in. Some of you guys, you were trying to call in and didn't get in. Hopefully tomorrow you're able to join us. And
All right. Don't forget to organize and carry him and Tamiko.
Central.
That's right. Boom. In my Buju Bantam voice.
Appreciate it.
Right,
I mean, and on that note, guys, tune in tomorrow, same time, same place, right here on WINNMedia SKN on Facebook or on YouTube. Make sure to check us out on Instagram at ISLNTSKN. Big up all the Twitch, the Periscope users. We see you. We love you. But
all of the website users.
Yeah, well, hopefully nobody coughing in nobody's face. If you ain't gonna waste the home, stay at your yard.
Anyway.
Stay
I know we just usually do your outro, right? But I feel like we should.
Lord, Jade, you like this a bit too much.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I feel like
we're gonna forget the outro today because we have something else.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Guys, remember.
14 days. You're not going in nobody's house. You're not going in nobody's car. 14 days. You're gonna be in lockdown. That is the rule. And at the end of the 14 days, you get a test. And if the test ain't come back good, you're in lockdown again.
See you guys tomorrow.